Tyler Kettle, and this is another reading of In Space, Don't Get Here Clean. And we're starting with the Roxanne journal. June 1st, 2035. Hello, my name is Roxanne, 28, and I live in Vancouver during the RIP era. Sorry, that sounds so formal, right? Believe me, I'm not trying to do that. I just didn't know how to start this, whatever this is. You call it a record, something that details the events of the time, the good, the bad, the worse, and the even worse ones, packaging it all nicely for the next generations. So you, whoever you are, Mr. Mysterious Stranger, can learn from our mistakes and our successes. I know that you must have mounds of books, records, and movies about this time, which makes me glad that out of all of that, you have decided on my rating. Thank you, kind stranger. I wish to know who you are. What do you look like? Are you a cat or a dog person? Neither? What makes you happy? Yes, I know that this is not the way this works. A reader can peer into a book, but the writer cannot do the same. Now books have become a lot more interactive in your time. Circling back, if I may, perhaps this is for you and me. I share with you what this time was like, every little chaotic and tough to hear bit, and you listen. It's a journal, it's a record, it's a book, it's whatever it needs to be for you and me. I just stopped before I begin to ramble. Let me tell you what my day's like. I woke up this morning and looked out the window. The sun was covered by clouds, yet little rays of sunlight filtered through. Lying there, I knew it was going to be a sunny day. Rain had drenched the city for the past few days, making me more inclined to hide inside, rewatching The Office 2025 again. I looked at the empty spot next to me, where Matt, my boyfriend, used to lie. It's still odd to wake up and not hear him breathing next to me or feel his soft touch on my back. It's a struggle to adjust to his absence, especially since I lived with him for 5 years, give or take a few months. It's not so much the absence as getting used to living with myself. No longer do I have to adjust myself around his schedule as he did for me. Now I adjust for no one, and I don't know what to do with that. You might think that it sounds great, but I'll still prefer to have Matt back with all his annoying and frankly disgusting habits. I fear that you might have taken his more holes in cloth boxers to space, the ones I told him several times to get rid of. CSA must be able to afford new boxers. It scares me that Matt is in space. Even if I'm mad at him for reasons I will tell you, I still want him home. I believe that he will make it home, and you might call me naive or unrealistic, but I have to believe. You have to believe in something these days. If you don't, then what's the point of living? Sorry, I did ramble there for a bit, didn't I? Let me get back to it. Lights above me, I saw the Star Wars Episode 12 poster hanging there. Daisy Ridley stared back at me as Millie Bobby Brown stood behind her with a red lightsaber. Matt and I did a Star Wars marathon once, and I didn't mind it for the most part. But I find that they really blend together after all. Also, why do the princes tend to turn evil? I didn't mention this, Matt, when we were watching, as I love seeing him watching them. He looks so happy, humming along to the music and quoting some of the scenes. That's what I love most about watching these movies. Seeing him happy made me happy. Once I made Matt watch On the Waterfront. Do you know it? It's a really old movie. Well, to you, it's a really, really, really old movie. I don't think Matt liked it. While he said it was great, it wasn't a very enthusiastic great. More like something you say to someone after a subpar dinner party. I wish I could have found more things that both of us really liked before he left. Anyway, I glanced at the other posters on the walls. Everything from Led Zeppelin to Weezer hung around the room. The Led Zeppelin poster is actually mine, but Matt really likes them too. At least we have one thing in common that both of us really like. A bedside table sits next to the bed, spotless except for a copy of Beowulf on the surface. Matt's, mine, and Matt's worn dresser with scratches and various stickers from a myriad of tattoo shop stands against the wall. A slim TV is hung on the wall and from the bed. The carpet is pristine, free of any crumbs or bits of dirt. Every surface that can be cleaned is clean. I swung my legs out of bed and remember what this room used to be like. Dirty clothes on the floor, used gross tissues on the bed, beer bottles on the table. For a janitor, Matt sure looked like a pig. I grabbed my phone and left the room. I showered, got dressed, slim jeans and one of Matt's full metal alchemist t-shirts. I made a breakfast of oatmeal. Sitting at the kitchen table, I enjoyed spoonful after spoonful of porridge. I stared aimlessly around the space. I could see cracked tiles on the floor, uneven cupboards, fridge that was old 10 years ago, barely enough counter space to cut up a tomato. It might not seem like a lot, but it's home at a time when where a lot of people are losing their homes. So I treasure this place with its cracks, scratches, and dings. I stared out the window and saw the clouds are parting, allowing the sun to fully shine down onto the city. I knew that it was going to be a good day. I could see a man and a woman cycling by. A few cars drove down the road. People hurriedly walked down the sidewalk, one or two of them pushing strollers. Apartment buildings lined the other side of the street. Above them, a large rip hung over them. I recall when I first saw it, distant dot above the structures. Then it grew and grew over the months, turning into what it is now. It makes me sad to see it. The people living in those apartments have probably already been issued evacuation orders. Now they'll have to find space in the emergency shelters or find someone willing to take them in. It's sad. Oatmeal took up my phone. I flipped through and saw politician after politician making a speech. Families stood behind them, little emotion on their faces. The speakers spoke about how there is a way through, and we just have to get through it together. Well, I believe the same things that they're talking about. It seems as if they are simply saying the same thing that every other politician is saying. How can people follow someone who changes the words just a little from last guy or woman? Where did the great leaders go? The men and the women. That's one of the things we need right now, a bright light in the darkness. Someone to tell us honestly that things are going to be okay. If we had someone like that, more people might start to feel hopeful again. Might see that there is answers. Someone just has to show them. No, it's not me. I later further more stories and saw the number of disappearances has risen to 20 million worldwide. Then the media has called them deaths. I like that they did this. Like me, they're holding on to the idea that the people we lost can come back. Did you read about those who went to the rivers to find their loved ones? Most people called it foolhardy and stupid. And when whoever ever came back out, those very same people said, I told you so. What would you do if your son, your wife, or your brother or a friend was pulled into a rip? Wouldn't you go in? I would go in. If there's any chance of getting back someone I love, I would do it. No hesitation. Even though no one has ever come out of one, there still has to be a chance, right? There still has to be some way to beat those odds. I know what you're thinking. You think I am naive. Allow me to assure you that I'm not. I'm merely choosing to believe that there still is a chance for us. Like I said, you have to believe in something. If you don't, what's the point? I read through more of these stories. I saw a picture of Rip sucking up an entire neighborhood. Animals, people, and buildings. Yeah, my mind can hear the screams of people being ripped out of their beds. Another article told a story of a woman who had lost her entire family to Rip. Terror suddenly pressed into my thoughts, and I had to push the phone away. My heartbeat rose to a rate where it felt like my heart was going to tear my chest open. I thought about something like that happening to people I know and the ones in the apartments across the street, where the rip is still hanging in the air. In my mind, I could see a rip tearing up the entire city, each and every block, taking people like Julia, Alfred, and my friends from the coffee shop. I mean, saw Matt's spaceship being destroyed by a rip. Chaotic, terrible things passed through my minds. I desperately tried to breathe in and out, anything to stop whatever was happening. The racing thoughts began to slowly rampage through my mind. Steadily, they turned into a softer rampage, if that is a thing. I kept breathing in and out slowly. It started to calm down. Yet a pit of terror rested in my stomach. I knew what I needed to do. I got to my feet, gathered up my cleaning supplies from beneath the sink, and set about cleaning the already cleaned kitchen. I didn't need to do it. I just needed something to take my mind off of things. Clean the table and the counters with a cloth and a spray bottle, managing to wipe off a few specks of food from next to the sink. Then I took the vacuum out of the closet and ran over the already pristine floors. Not much was found except for a little bit of dust in a corner by the fridge. Took me a little over 10 minutes to do to the kitchen. Afterwards, I entered the living room. A dry of space, there's a couch, coffee table, and Matt's recliner. Instead of a TV, a projection-like device is pointed at the wall. You turn it on, it projects a hologram onto the blank wall. Matt brought it for himself a few years ago. Very little posters are hung up, except for ones that I've put up. They're mainly from the on the waterfront and a streetcar named Desire. I didn't ask Matt if I could put them up. I just did it. Thought it would lead to a fight, but it never did. Why didn't he ever fight me about that? I'll ask him when he gets back. I quickly cleaned the living room with my vacuum cleaner, getting to every corner. I even did the furniture with cushions and all. As I did feel some relief. The terror didn't sit so heavy in my stomach. The events that I read about seemed a little more distant. Still close, but manageable. Lastly, I cleaned the coffee table once I ran the cloth over it. I remembered that I had to pick up a prescription. Looking outside, I could see the sun casting a warm ray of sunlight into the room. It was a good day for a walk, and I needed it.